Hey, Vinicius Brasil here with a Santa Clara housing market update for June 2020. And generally how I like to start this off is talking about some of the previous month's numbers. Just last month in May, we had a total of 30 closings, which was very low, especially relative to the previous month, which was already slow. We had 46 in April and only 30 in May. Now, some good news is we had 36 homes sell in May. Now, don't be confused here. We had 30 closings in May, but we had 36 accepted contracts, which should mean we should have more closings in June this month than we did last month, which means a bit of an uptick in activity, which is of course good news. Now, average price of a home sold in May was at $1.4 million. That's about $10,000 less than April's figure. The median price of a home sold in May was $1.34. That's about $85,000 lower than April's figure. And an interesting detail is the average cost per square foot actually increased in May. It was $984 a square foot versus $956 a square foot. And on general, the homes that did sell in May sold about 2.7% over list price, which is lower than April's figure, which was on average 6% over list price. So we began May with 40 homes on the market and we ended May with 48 homes on the market, which is still pretty low inventory, and that's pretty typical. This time of year, we're seeing inventory increase as we go coming from the spring to summer markets. Now, here are some interesting details about what's going on in our current market. Now, one of the interesting things I feel is there were 64 homes sold last May. May 2019, there were 64 homes, and of course, we only saw 30 homes sell this May, which is a really drastic drop, less than 50% homes sold. And another interesting factor is the median price of homes sold was $150,000 less than the median price of homes listed. So that means that more homes on the lower end are selling. There's a lot of upper end homes that are not selling, which to me shows me that there's more entry level homes that are selling. So perhaps not a lot of families are buying homes right now, which is also interesting because this is the time of year where most families want to move. School being out, they're using this time to move into new neighborhoods or maybe relocate out of the area. In terms of inventory has remained really steady. Typically this time of year, we're seeing gradual increases. And I was speculating that that would be the case this year. And even more so, once we saw shelter-in-place policies get relaxed, I was expecting more and more homes to come on the market, and I'm sure there's more inventory that's coming up. But as of right now, we've actually seen inventory stabilize and now starting to drop. So where do we go from here? Well, to be honest, I think it's really hard to say. We just don't know how much more of this is going to go on. Obviously, things are getting a little bit more relaxed in terms of shelter-in-place policies, but that doesn't necessarily mean we're out of the woods. And on top of that, there's been a lot of changes, and there's a lot of things that this whole epidemic has affected that we just don't understand what the long-term implications are going to be. For example, a lot of employers in the Valley have announced new policies in regards to work from home. Others have extended that. So that's going to most likely change buyers' attitudes towards what sort of homes they're going to buy. Do they really need to buy in a convenient area like Santa Clara, for instance? Or could they shop, a little bit farther out where they can get a larger home? We just don't know. And on top of that, we don't really understand what the distressed property market's going to be like in a few months. There's been, moratoriums on evictions, so there's perhaps rental properties out there that landlords are not able to collect rent on and are behind on their mortgage. We just don't know. So all these effects are going to play out in the next few months, and they're of course going to have an impact on the real estate market. My advice, if you're a buyer right now in this market, the market has really heated up. Now, especially if you're an entry-level buyer looking in those lower price ranges for a single-family home or a nice townhome or condo, don't be surprised if the house that you're interested in is getting a lot of interest and there's multiple offers. That's looks like it's becoming a bit of the norm right now, especially for homes that are fixed up and well presented. So just expect that, understand that the market seems to be picking up. And right now we're at that point where inventory is supposed to be going up and actually inventory is going down. So if inventory doesn't really pick up in the next month and a half, I can't imagine inventory for the rest of the year will be much higher, and we might even be looking at a tighter market as we move towards the end of the year with higher prices. For sellers, things are certainly getting better now than they were in the last 2 months. So if you were thinking about perhaps putting your plans on hold, perhaps you may want to revisit those plans now and maybe start that planning process. The market right now is certainly better than it was in the last month, last 2 months. Where it goes from now, it's pretty likely that it may be a very strong market considering interest rates are really low. Stock market is pretty much recovered, and it looks like inventory isn't going anywhere. So that'll be a really favorable market moving forward if you're thinking about selling your house. So if you've got any questions regarding the market, buying or selling, if you've got any questions about any specifics here at Santa Clara, you know I'm here. I'm happy to talk to you and happy to help you any way that I can. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.